You know, we are lucky to have in studio today Kevin Yoder. The Yoder team, as Kevin talks a little bit about, you know, this year's. I've seen homes, like I was just telling you, Kevin, in my neighborhood, it just seems like they're just flying. I mean, I keep hearing, you know, that it's a good, you know, it's easier to get money now, and so folks are like, you know, trying to upgrade or trying to get into a new home, and so the existing homes. I heard last month was a great month. These things are just flying. Tell us what's going on.
You are hitting it on the head. So Justin, the year was great. As I talked earlier this week with Phil Tower, I just kind of brushed on it a little bit, but the year, you know, 2014 was a great year for real estate. Home sellers are now, we're in our second year of improving market conditions, so equity positions are getting stronger. Not quite where they were in 2005 yet. We'll maybe touch on that a little bit later, but all in all, with interest rates this year hovering around that 4% mark, it really has helped a lot of people with affordability. As we know, West Michigan is one of the most affordable places to own a home in the country, so that certainly helps.
You know, we always hear, oh, it's a buyer's market, or oh, it's a seller's market, whatever. What kind of market are we in right now? Is it a buyer's market, a seller's market? What exactly is this?
That's a great question. We do hear that all the time, and the measure for what type of market condition you're in is based on what's called an absorption rate. The absorption rate essentially is the number of months that that would take to clear all the inventory off if nothing else was listed. Okay, so like right now we're at 3.73. Let's just call it 4 months. If no one else listed a home, it would take 4 months to completely deplete the listing inventory. So
that's pretty good, right?
It's good. We're in a balanced market right now. There's a seller's market and then there's a buyer's market. And to give you some perspective, when it was a buyer's market, we had 12 months of inventory. So if no one listed a home, it would take an entire year for all those homes to sell. And so we're hovering around a third of that. So that's a healthy, balanced market. It's balanced because it's not a hot seller's market. It's balanced out. It felt more like a seller's market last year. This year, really, buyers have some advantages with interest rates. Homes are going faster, but it's not that quick, you know, 3 hours on the market thing unless it's just in a super hot area.
Something that you just mentioned, Kevin Yoder in studio with the Yoder team, and Kevin, you just said pre-approval. We hear about the pre-approval process, and hey, maybe you should do this. This is a good idea because then you know exactly what you can afford. Those types of things. How important is that?
It's about as important as the decision to buy a house. I mean, when you decide you want to sell a home, it's the conversation I'm having is, well, first of all, before you talk about listing your home, because I'm going to sell your home and quickly, go get pre-approved, because the last thing I want to do is have you homeless, because if you sell your house in a day or a week and you haven't talked to your lender yet, you better, you know, you're gonna be in a situation. So it's just finding out, and it's quick and easy. People think it's a daunting process. You can be pre-approved in a couple hours. Really? Just talking to a lender, get a basic pre-qualification is what you can do in a couple hours. A pre-approval would take a little bit longer, but
so they get a snapshot of where
you're at. Credit, income, debt to income ratio, and that's it.
Yeah. And it's as simple as that. Not only when you're selling, but I guess when you're going to buy, because you're selling because you're going to buy.
Yeah,
so
right.
It works for both.
Absolutely.
I guess. So if I'm interviewing somebody, going through that process of trying to pick the right person, what are some questions? What are some things that I need to ask?
Great question. So Justin, one of the questions that, these are not questions that necessarily that people always ask me, but I think if I were a seller knowing what I know now, and I would ask some basics. I would ask how long you've been in the business. Your tenure, your how many transactions you've done. This is something that's going to give an agent some insight, perspective, strategy, skill, and these are things that come with time. And the more transactions you do, the more you learn, the better you get. How well will you negotiate for me? You know, what systems or strategies do you have in place? This one is never asked of me, but I think it's a great question because when you control marketing and you control staging and you attract buyers and you get an offer, these are things that agents have control over, and the negotiation process is something that can go one way or another. There are literally thousands of dollars left on the negotiation table every day in real estate, and it comes from a place of being a fiduciary, having just a better negotiation skill set. You know, been doing it a long time, maybe being formally trained to negotiate would help you with getting your sellers maximum dollar.
We got to wrap there. There's just a couple of things that we quickly want to talk about with staging your home. What do you need to do to make sure that that thing is presented correctly?
take off your hat that says I live here and put on the hat that says I sell here.
Yeah.
So it's getting in the mindset, and this isn't always, it's actually quite difficult to get a seller to think that way, but this is not about you, and the way that you like your home is not necessarily going to be the way that the broad market's going to appreciate it. So get out of your own mind for a minute and think about like how would this home be neutral. Rely on professional stagers, which we provide as well, and it'll go a long way.
Kevin Yoder, the Yoder Team, theyoderteam.com. More online there, and we appreciate you stopping by today. Thank you,
My
Kevin.
pleasure. Thanks for having me, Jeff.